Hey everybody, it's All Grown Up Rugrats 20th anniversary. Now, I bet you're wondering, that's the 29th, or arguably April 12th. But I'm celebrating on the 14th because I have extra time today. So I want to celebrate by detailing how this forum, Luke's Place, dedicated to how the show was ending. Well, we'll start off with the final proper premiere that was Are We Having Fun Yet, which a good chunk of fans probably did believe was the finale. I'm probably not going to read through most of these, I'll just scroll down. So, okay. In the meantime, between October 2005 to uh, spring 2006, the remaining 18 episodes of the series were uploaded to YouTube via Australian affiliates. And they basically were talking about the stuff in here. They were just really desperate for new episodes. They figured the writing really was on the roll for this. They Yeah, All Grown Up had like very inconsistent time slots for when they aired. Sometimes it was 8 o'clock, sometimes it was 6:30, sometimes it was 9:30. It was very bizarre. Yeah, sometimes they. Okay, that's this one. Now let's move on to the next one. Yeah, they were talking about how they were initially really reluctant about the RV special, but then looking back on it, they realized how well the characters placed got their screen time, how they were involved with one another, how they got the resolution. But spoilers: Tommy finally feels grown up, having helped everyone travel across the country while still realizing he should love his mother. Chucky gets his first kiss, and Susie sings in the parade, with Angelica finally supporting her. And and in the meantime, okay, April 2006, Lost at Sea was uploaded to YouTube under, I believe it was an Australian affiliate. It could have been the Scandinavian one, but it didn't air until mid-November 2007 in the United States. So pretty much around this time, they were really they were really capitalizing on the Lost stuff. They were like, "Oh, Are We Having Fun Yet" is in the Nick Picks 4 DVD. Ooh, I agree with this statement. How I thought there were too many moments that act too old for their ages. Well, RV had much more consistent, probable plot, faster pace, and much more touching and usual scenes. I totally agree with that because it actually gives everyone something to do differently, and it allows for us to understand what they want. Uh, yeah, this is still during the broadcast hiatus. It was always These were all from Australian affiliates. The episodes. And this is the exact day that Klasky Cupo announced All Grown Up was over. February 10th, 2006. Okay, it says 52 episodes, but it technically has 55 because 3 of the specials are double episodes. And this is technically exactly the number of episodes as it's declassified. So it's slightly shorter than the common. Uh, some of the shows are 52 episodes exactly, like Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life. Danny Phantom has just one over that, so it's technically not a short series. Be proud while it lasted. All sets done. Hoping Nick will at least show the remaining episodes. Okay, so they want the box sets. They were pretty. Yeah, a lot of people were pretty upset. I think the reason why it's a sex sales would be AGU did have good stuff. The DVDs were good. One problem is anything aside from DVDs pertain to the wrong audience. Those free dolls attract the girls. DBAs for girl. It's just a girly game. They attracted the audience. They attracted the wrong audience. Yeah, a lot of shows suffer that fate. In fact, this show hardly I've seen half. I could hardly take AGU. Haven't been happy with the show lately. It doesn't upset me that much that it's canceled. And yeah, a lot of people were saddened, but yeah. And now here comes the waiting for them to release another thing where they're waiting to have the episodes release. That's a very common problem that a show ends. They take massive broadcast hiatuses. They basically never air episodes consistently, and I already told you the inconsistent time slots. Sometimes they would air it on either Fridays or Saturdays, but that's still acceptable because those don't have school the next day. That's just maybe they forgot it. Nah, they couldn't have forgotten that since Rugrats was still popular. They premiered Rugrats in Paris at the midpoint of 2006, which is still strange to me because of how successful with audiences that one was. And the first movie premiered in 2004. I thought they would premiere shortly after that, since most Nickelodeon movies take like 2 to 3 years to appear on the main channel after theatrical release. Why even bother checking out the show? They've given up on it. Yeah, it's a painful death. Literally half a year without any new. Casey obviously made the same mistake as it did to As Told by Ginger, adding a older teen-related content themes to the remaining episodes of the show, something far from allowable to applying to live-action teen Nick shows, which is why in the past, few Ginger complains why the high school episodes never got shown in the U.S. at all. Either way, we're still being left in the cold. Yeah, As Told by Ginger, they withheld 10 of the 60 episodes, and part of the problem was kind of airing it out of order, like All Grown Up, if I didn't mention that already, but they actually released the finale onto DVD and VHS instead, which in November 2004, which I presume was the time where that was supposed to actually air on TV. And I believe they also appeared online in early 2005 to 2006. It might have been on eBaum's World. I don't believe it was from YouTube exclusively. I think it's worse I saw it. Big movie premieres every night this summer. IGO's exhausted all the movie. Surmios. It's just talking about potential summer slots, which did not happen. Summer movies is when they put Rugrats in Paris out. Australia also seems to be following U.S. trends and not getting new episodes. Yeah. they were saying Danny Phantom ended production around this time too. 30. Yeah, at this point, 37 of the episodes aired. Yeah, and they put a guide in there. Yeah, these forums are pretty fascinating to me because they're kind of a part of internet history. They basically say a lot about what events that happened, literal conversation instead of verbal. They're digitally written. Well, some of the shows had more than 7 month hiatus. Ned's Declassified had like 7.5 between seasons 1 and 2. Keenan and Kel had also 8 months each between seasons 1 and 2, and then 2 and 3. I actually haven't watched Rocket Power at all. And now we're talking. Okay, now they're talking about how the episodes were uploaded. YouTube has new standards that allows to be a certain length, like 10 minutes. I noticed that the videos previously provided by Staircraft featuring these episodes have been removed. So, if you don't, I'm pretty sure these episodes were uploaded based on how they were presented in like it's 3 acts instead of like 10 minutes and cutting awkwardly. It was a lot easier that way, but sometimes they compile them into one and then split it in there. I'm pretty sure this YouTube link is dead. Oh, it's not, but the videos are removed. But apparent but these episodes could not have lasted past February 2007 because that's when Viacom made their suit to YouTube for uploading SpongeBob, uh, Fairly Odd Parents, I think South Park, and a bunch of other shows. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, pretty much all the 18 remaining episodes were uploaded to YouTube around this point. The show wrapped production in December 2005, if you guys were wondering the exact time, with the final episode being Bad Blood, aka the grandfather's fighting episode, and it has a very weird and quite possibly really obscene ending. Uh, subordinate you. PMs, IMs, emails. Don't know if YouTube's strict about cartoon episodes at this level. This really does scream 2006. We aren't exactly advertising it this time around, like Gavin said. I was earlier mistaken when I thought these videos no longer existed. I was just letting people know. Man, I wish Sturdycraft would put more episodes on YouTube. That would be nice and totally awesome too. Yes, it would be nice that Nickelodeon has other priorities right now. Sturdycraft is adjusting the camera at times. He's just done for a simple webcam at least. Oh, maybe it's just maybe some of these are just manual. They're manual recordings. Yep. We have unlimited YouTube episodes. Happy Quentin noises. Now, this is when the episodes were finally being uploaded in the United States. They finally got the TV listing for Rachel Rachel. However, interestingly, it was not the first. This was not the first produced episode with Rachel. Not first aired episode, or even the first produced episode with Rachel. Lost at Sea was, but this is another big problem with All Grown Up. It has like really mixed up continuity. The chronologically makes no sense unless you. It wasn't. They really weren't sure if it was meant to be semi-serialized or completely serialized, or even episodic. Nothing in the show's timeline made a lot of sense to me. It's been over a year. Have my VCR set up. Oh, this is so cool. I could reel everything set up twice. Let you wait. Please see more on later episodes. I can't believe it. Sobs a Lillian. Actual. It's. Yep, 4th episode of season 4. The actual first produced episode of season 4 was Phil Will's birthday in Separate But Equal. I really like that episode, by the way. It's awesome. It can't be before Lost at Sea before Ladies Man. Rachel happened before Lost at Sea. The only one they're skipping. Yeah. Yeah, that's the list of the episodes. I don't believe anyone had backed up the episodes from 17 years ago. The quality would have been shit as could be. Maybe even less than 144p. Oh, rhyme. Okay, noting that it aired 9:30. Ooh, they say it might have been part of a Thanksgiving weekend. They're trying to give optimism. They're legitimate. Sure, I don't know what Nickelodeon. Now as good as any time, Nickelodeon tends to air a lot of the other episodes that full week of AGU. But afterwards, as you guys probably know, they aired. Yep, Saturday and Sundays at 7 in the morning, and then it changed to 6 in the morning, with it intermittently between 2009 to 2010. Sometimes it would be twice a week then. Sometimes it would be 4 times a week. But yeah, that's not a very good time slot for fans. That's basically 3 to 4 in the morning for California kids, which is of course where Rugrats and All Grown Up takes place. I have the regular Nickelodeon feed West Coast. So yeah, they do. there was a bunch of weird affiliates in between. There are sometimes weird affiliates between Nickelodeon's West Coast and East Coast. Okay, totally right about this. Month is going fast. Halloween is coming up, and yeah, the Halloween episode, although it's barely relevant, is TP plus KF, but it was released, as I said, in spring 2006. But it was not aired until exactly like 1 year after all this. Yeah, they were pretty happy to see it, and this dialogue is like so dated yet so awesome. I don't think this. I don't. Again, I don't think people actually still have backups of those, except for like Nick and More. Oh, this was legitimately, quite possibly, the worst episode of a Nickelodeon show I ever watched. All broke up. It was so bad, people were conspiring that this was actually the last episode that they made, thinking it was rounding at 52, including the specials, but nope, there were 3 episodes after this. And I already mentioned that Bad Blood was the final produced episode. If All Broke Up is truly the end, just look at how the mighty Tommy has fallen. And All Broke Up alone, his fake reaction to breaking up with Rachel nearly cost him his friends. Feeling a little are clearly upset with him, but Chucky still so over to seat him, and he doesn't have any girlfriends now. I mean, what happened to Tommy? His immaturity clearly shown through the final episode. Yeah, they prove it's not. I guess Tom went downhill to the beginning. He's still the main character, but I guess Klasky Chupo didn't know how to handle it. Yep, actually petition this, Brothers Grimm and Bad Blood. Those are the 3 that came after this. But petition this is sadly chronologically before this because Kimmy's talking on her cell phone in this one. Again, problem with continuity. So I wonder if there's like a special script order of these episodes. Ah, I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole too. All Grow Up season. You don't think sending a sequence out of order, but people see the word season finale, think the next episodes are going to be a separate season. Just 7 or season is on when a season is 10 to 13 episodes. Yep, they got they got they confirmed it's not. Indeed, seems odd that Klasky Cooper would say season finale for the 4th to last episode, but I think Klasky planned on making more episodes beyond Bad Blood, but Nickelodeon did not want to continue, thus meaning that was the true finale. The episode title, All Grown Up, being a close reference to the show All Grown Up, and I've seen this done with other shows where in the final episode is close to that show. Taking this into account, the final episodes where Tommy's character takes the biggest tumble of all, sadly to never see him bounce back up. Oh yes, definitely the way they trashed Tommy's character is sad. I think the main reason I wasn't into All Grown Up for a while was because of what they did to him. Yeah, that's a big problem. They pretty much lost their characteristics except for Rachel. Take us all down in the dumps. Totally agree with you. I felt a similar way. Nick is pushing. Finally got to see that as well. That episode had me hopping mad. It was just disgraceful to see a very star of Rugrats trampled into the ground like that. Tommy has always been known as the most character that could bounce back from whatever situation he was into. With All Grown Up, in the final few episodes we've seen, it puts a total 180 what it meant to be Tommy Pickles. I mean, an episode that could very well serve to be a finale with the series, and with Tommy in tears. Good Lord, Casey, what have you done? This is exactly why AGU has to get a green light on some new episodes, as well as work on several of the storyline abominations that happened in season 2 upwards. I would like to see Tommy as the character who bounces back. As such, I want to see him get bounced back from this. I'd hate for people who are just casual watchers to say that All Grown Up was never any true closure to the Rugrats saga with this in mind. Yeah, just again saying that this can't be the end. Last two of these. Yeah, nothing. Okay, and this is right when All Grown Up was leaving Nick's main channel, January 2013, and literally the week after this, Nickelodeon got a big facelift by having a Rugrats marathon at 5 to 9:30, ending with Rugrats in Paris, where they also reran Runaway Reptar, amidst other specials. I know it's been 7 years since All Grown Up got the axe by now. You probably aren't interested. If it was revived, I would absolutely start watching it, but it never did revive. They would probably try to revive Rugrats first. Well, you were right. And that seems to happen with successful cartoon shows every 20 or 30 years. President Nickelodeon is my cup of tea. That might be true. The only way for Nicktoon to get revived is if the current president gets fired. That wouldn't happen until about 5 years later. 90s are all that. Boy, do we love that. Starting to think that should be right. People say this Nora girl, but she didn't say anything about it. There have been rumors that she got sick and tired of doing it. I think it is. AGDT have a cult following when it was still airing regularly on TV and still talked about some extent on this board. I mean, is why it ultimately did die in the first place. They have enough an audience amongst the younger viewers of 5 to 11. Most people who watch are young adults who grew up with Rugrats. And Nick decided to pull and plug Rugrats as that age group was their primary target audience. Danny Phantom had also a very large group of young adult fans, and even tried to get a toy campaign going for it to increase the show's popularity, but Nick wasn't interested in that, and they pulled the plug on that show early. Avatar was always treated the best. Same thing. Kind of. Okay, now this is going to be a big one. What ruined the show? As I sat back to watch the slow, painful demise of All Grown Up this year, I can't help but deal with great anger and sadness. Yet at the same time, I wondered to myself, if you were part of Casey's writing team for a show and could go back to change something, what would you do? I personally feel they should have made more episodes focusing on Dylan and Kimmy. From my own observation, they seem to be the two most popular characters. They would need more character development anyway, since they didn't have much time to grow on Rugrats, especially Kimmy. I like to think there were some character flaws because that turned a lot of people off. Look at what happened to Tommy. He acts like a complete fool and all broke up, deceives his friend, loses 2 days, and actually immature when Rico broke up with him for the last time. So I think you could say many of the situations that the gang faced were out of their age range. They are 10, 11, 12, and 13-year-old kids, and for some reason can't see their age trying to lead a pack of ostriches by the ranch safely. Yes, it's a fictional show, let alone a cartoon show for that matter, but then you got Tommy having 2 girlfriends, kissing them, and dealing with rather actual grown-up issues. The show's titled All Grown Up, but they're not that all grown up yet. And there's some of my gripes. And I understand that most of the time, they really don't act like their ages. You can't have precocious characters doing stuff that's way out of the demographic. Like, I want to compare this to Hey Arnold, because Hey Arnold, they look and act like 12-year-olds despite being 3 years younger than that. But that kind of works with the setting that they're in. They're in the city where they're dealing with the real hardships of life. It's the dark part of the community, and that's what helps them grow and learn the situation that they would have otherwise faced years later. And that's why it's such a quintessential show. But here, the characters' precociousness in All Grown Up is really confusing. Like, they're not allowed to watch a PG-13 movie, despite how they can still get dates and use their phones a lot and even go on all those big adventures. Yeah, that is just bizarre. The precociousness just doesn't make any sense. Let's see your quick trip on the show for anything else preteens. I never want to kiss a girl until I was 15. Then shows Hami doing that for the first time at only age 11. I know it happens to some kids that age, but man, that's a little too young. Speaking of Tommy sources, I thought it would be a mistake to just have him do it with a one-time character instead of Olivia that was never seen again. Why not do it with Kimmy or Lil? Sorry, why did I mumble that? Why not do it with Kimmy or Lil? Either that, or they could have at least brought Olivia back for an episode or two and took Rachel's place. Yes, I think that would have made things much more interesting if the gang were 15 and 16. Then we would have seen how they would have adjusted to high school, facing many teen issues. Characters developing crushes on other people, even having relationships, would seem more believable than it does right now. Also, speaking more on the development of Kimmy and Lil, I thought they had a great formula with Dill, but simply didn't involve him enough early on. He had 3 episodes focused on him and Tommy in season 1 that I can think of, but it seems like it took a little bit of backseat to everyone else in season 2 and 3 at that point. From what I understand, season 4 and 5 he gets a little more attention, but too little too late is all I can say about that. As for Kimmy, her character had some great moments of growth opportunity, but fizzled out after 1 episode. But worst of all, there was... For example, they had to drop her bad girl image with Z after they showed bad Kimmy, not to pull Z out of the script altogether after it's Cupid Stupid. Yeah, back then it was trying to be really episodic instead of semi-serialized, which is why season 1 is also really weak, but season 5 is quite possibly one of the worst Nickelodeon seasons ever. If you were talking about things that like regress, good plot points, and opportunity, that season 5 really takes the cake. Season 1 was just mainly boring and derivative. That's the one thing season 5, that's the one thing I never understood, with the worst example of TP and KF. Just looking at that preview, figured out Tommy and Kimmy just as anyone else would, but the whole episode ended up giving her a backseat to the main plot for 5 minutes into it. Normally, I ball in for Chucky getting some face time, but not when it means sacrificing episodes that could be used to help develop another character that I would probably grow to love just as much. Of all the episodes out there, an episode that I want to see the most Train Please, because I truly think that's one of the episodes that gave Kimmy some decent face time for once. Yes, that's easily the best episode of that season. But I thought the TPKF theory could work, but I didn't see thought I flushed the theory down the drain. Yes, Kimmy and Dill did not have enough face time. And just think, Kimmy and Dill are the 2 newest Rugrats, and they became the 2 most popular, yet they were never properly utilized. It's the same for sure. Kimmy really did not do much during the duration of AGU. Casey never really gave her an interesting long-term hobby like the other characters did. If they did, usually that hobby went to another character, Kimmy being a good cook in the horse special, then Phil becoming the cook later in the series. A lot of times she was hidden in the background plots. When Casey did focus on an episode with her, though, usually they were not bad episodes, but they did give Kimmy a potential hobby with the Japanese heritage and Memoirs of Finster. Didn't seem to do much with that one after, except showing her in the Japanese clothing, even though she went a little overboard with the one episode. In that episode. What was wrong is how they screwed up the personality. Biggest disappointment was Tommy. He was such a cool little dude in Rugrats. AGU, well, he wasn't. Yeah. Okay, this made me laugh. Chucky was, I don't like him at all. He was a cute little scary cat, but now he's just a nerd. Susie's a little Miss Perfect still, but that's still okay. Wait till you see Susie Goes Bad Light, then you'll have a million things to say with what went wrong in that episode alone. Boy, do I agree with that one. The start to the worst season ever. They were just wondering if they should talk about that or not. I want to talk about for a 10... nothing seems believable for those 10 to 11-year-old kids. Either that or Klasky Csupo repeat a lot of similar ideas throughout the series. Once this thing that drives me up a wall today is they made Chucky out not to be a liar, and then in one of the later episodes, Tommy can't lie. Yet in a lot of other situations, they have no trouble lying. So the continuity of the oral series is off as well. Yep, you got that right, Luke. Yep, it's the titular Luke of the server. Yeah, just the romance stuff doesn't. Some of the romance stuff and the other adventures seem a little too chaotic. You're just talking about Kim Possible, how that show deals with the age as well, and I exceeded 65 episodes. Yeah, if All Grown Up had given one more season, that would have been 65 for another 10 episodes. But to be honest, I think it actually is one season too many, since RV Having Fun Yet feels most like the finale, as I said at the beginning of this video. Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron would bring up crotches like that, as well as some other plots, but I've never heard of those shows take a harsh beating for it. Yeah, they treat it very mildly. It wasn't becoming as told by Ginger Light because it could have balanced out romantic issues and levered with better adventures. Yeah, personally, I thought what went wrong was the gradual de-evolution to another as told by Ginger. Yes, All Grown Up is basically as told by Ginger, but worse. As Told by Ginger is more relatable. It deals with the hardships more realistically. I know the animation is less attractive than All Grown Up, but I can argue this is because it's going to be the uglier side of the world that we must have to deal with. So in my opinion, the art style has a good symbolism in As Told by Ginger. We have time put on quite a few pounds. Can we take off random making out with some Kimmy making off with some random cheerleaders' pom-poms that stick to the sides of her head. It makes you wonder if a few months have passed between them. Here's one more thing about the show that decline. Also weird that us fans have virtually nitpicked every nook and cranny about the show ever since season 2. Bash things like Susie singing, then turn on criticize Casey for not giving certain characters staying a little breath. On note, it makes sense to Subaranga standing amidst Cree Summer's other characters, excluding number 5. She just sung a few notes for her roles. Career herself as a musician who enjoys her work. Every time I look back, I couldn't help but think of all that I've involved. The word being such jerks about the whole thing. Instead of appreciating what the other characters stood for the show and why made us hardcore fans to begin with. Eventually, it got so bad you couldn't even post a neutral standpoint on this. I remember at one time we even had to say at one point we didn't watch the show because we like Hill or Dimmy. Dill or Kimmy. On the way. I just like to think it was bad we would change it so drastically after season 1, like you said. It's weird to see them drawn differently with the exception of Kimmy. I wish they all drawn all that way from the start. Like, really, I sort of need Chucky's hair that dark and liked it better when they toned down just a little. Phil, Lil, far and away also need makeovers well. The right minds would actually think they look nicer in season 1 than the other seasons after. I agree, film will look better that way. Yeah, they could be right. When you sit down and think about it, having a show about young infants exploring the world from a baby's point of view is evolving into preteen drama is kind of a stretch. I don't know about you, rabid fandom of this show. I actually cringe at the thought of being seen watching it, almost as if a guilty pleasure of mine. When the show did become an As Told by Ginger clone, it was there and then that I thought I brought a new friend to watch the show. They sure wouldn't like it. The show does indeed lack the magic of the original Rugrats and the first season of AGU. If All Grown Up does ever get revived, they certainly have a lot of work to do to really pander the crowd. I'm still willing to... Yeah, you guys know that Rugrats has a reboot now, and it's getting mixed reviews, but it technically does. It is in the modern age, so they really have been trying to do new ideas with occasional recreations / updates. So I think it is successful in some way, and it has most of the original voice actors as the babies. Most of the parents have retired or died, but I am liking the modern style, and I'd be willing to bet there will be one all grown up special. Hopefully it's just 22 minutes, though. There probably is just going to be a very quick one. Hopefully, it's going to be a group thing, unlike the official 10th anniversary special. Uh, yeah, some people, they're arguing that they're just not very good characters. They're kind of selfish. They're not quite relatable. Oh yeah, I honestly prefer Nancy Cartwright as Chucky. It gives it a little bit more distinction to the voice. Christine Cavanaugh put a little bit too much Dexter in. I don't always hear. I usually do not hear Bart when I listen to Chucky, except for that one time where he was he was laughing maniacally about the "You Gotta Go" cards. Oh yeah, that's another controversial episode due to how dated and inconsistent the theme was. Superhero worship and all that. Uh, yeah, that's another awful episode. Petition this. Oh, I haven't got to see that. Have you seen? DeVille Has Divided is. I think it's a little bit better than Coupe DeVille due to the conflict and subplot they actually grow and all that. Yeah, I'll just let you read this at your leisure. Yep, this is right when the episodes finally hit America. What went wrong? Nickelodeon's failed marketing. Nickelodeon's nightmare schedules were all grown up. Nickelodeon's apparent termination of Klasky Chupo. And Rugrats fans who were expecting a lot more from the same Rugrats, but didn't get what they bargained for. Yeah, it turns out there was a bunch of generation that watched this show before Rugrats, so they were confused and just a little bit, a little bit puzzled about all the lore that they were missing out on. Yeah, mentioning Arby having fun yet the last proper premiere, and people thought and he kind of thinks Chucky Rules 55 thought it kind of was the finale at that time. But again, that's honestly my favorite episode due the road trip theme. They did they detail it pretty well. Even the destination, it makes everyone change for the better as people, gives everyone good screen time, and even subtle throwbacks like the dog sled was in Rugrats Vegas Vacation, and the hot air balloon was like one of their imagination episodes, specifically Larger Than Life, and the bear attack was in a way kind of reminiscent to the first movie. But yeah, thank God that episode was released onto VHS and DVD too, because otherwise people wouldn't have known how great that was. Again, they were really reluctant when they first saw the episode, but when it reran a bunch of those times during the hiatus, they were like, oh, so that's what they were going for. That's what they were trying to do. Yeah, this is a great special. I'm sorry, I doubted this. Oh, great, they compared it to Zoe 101. Oh, wow, they're adding the 2011 T-Nick stuff in here. That was a weird way to revive this. They're not really liking it. They weren't really liking the teen shows at the time. Uh, oh, talking about the potential divorce. Oh, wow. Personal. And last 8 tweets of this, and then it's one more page, and I'll finish off with some fan art. Oh, Uh, I thought All Grown Up was mostly played, had a few tweaks, but would have been great also. Drew was still clean shaven, head full of hair, was changed to mustache and comb over during All Grown Up. Charlotte looked great in this special, while she had plastic surgery in the series, which did not look normal at all. Yeah, the redesigns were weird for the parents too. Like Dee Dee had a smaller head of hair. I can't really discern what was different about Stu. Uh, Kira and Chaz barely changed visually. Uh, Howard's hair got thinner. Betty got a little bit wider, and Randy's hair got thinner. Lucy didn't change. Okay, now let's get into the end of this thing, but I still have one more thing to share after this. Let's say Nickelodeon granted Classy to create one final episode to cap up the series. What would you like to see in a finale episode? How would you wrap things up? I would screw the whole. This person says, Kimmy, December 7th, 2015, 12. Just use the digits. I would screw the boyfriend girlfriend crap and have the gang do together one last time. All 8 of them, maybe break them apart a little bit, like come together in the last few minutes. That would be the proper way to see the 15-year series end all together. I would agree with that as well. The shipping concept totally ruined the show. Should have left the crushes out. If it hadn't happened in Rugrats already, I think it would be cool to see the group win the lottery and find out they're going to move away. Both the ideas already took place in all the Rugrats episode and wouldn't be in the original, but something along those lines would sound cool to me. Something worthwhile idea to me. I agree that we need to leave the shipping crap out of it. That's why we enjoyed the earlier days of the franchise. Tommy's character was ruined with as many loves towards the end. Honestly, it's not the focus that a boy and girl wants that age anyways. It should be something simple. All 8 of them could be involved in. And welcome back, Chucky Rules 55. If I choose what would be the best ending for the show, would be RV having fun yet to be the series finale. I just feel that way because the kids learn more appreciation for their mothers, and the moms learn time for them to ease up on their kids to let them go. Besides, we also got Chucky being kissed by the girl, Susie being able to sing in front of millions of people. She wanted to do from the pilot, yeah, because Susie sings blues. She wanted to have her singing career, but then she gets conned by that woman who denied her $1,000. And that was a really shocking way to start the series, but I like that. I like the idea of ending on a simple note, maybe a bit worried just leading up to the end, concluding them all together as friends. Series began Tommy waking up, none of the crushes and everything. I totally agree with that. And for that matter, something simple would be perfect. How about something like we saw in Curse of Reptar? I thought it was a significant and memorable episode. I do too, because of the lore and good memories, and quite possibly one of the best in the entire series. Yep, it's the toy that they played such a large role with their lives based underground, which helped them relive some of the memories. Although, of course, they don't remember too many of them. But the toy had a big effect on them. Even 9 to 10 years later, a significant that could help a powerful episode. The family together's strong friendship was what really made it great, even as toddlers. They're saying the last post curve was one of the best ones. Chucky also pointed out the Reptar phenomena was the reason he got Mom and Kira and Kimmy. So perhaps another good way, and the whole group solar crisis that test out everyone's friendship with one another, make them get together at the end. I personally would have it Tommy's moving away soon because Stu got employed somewhere. Chucky finds out he has to move away too because they have to oversee the Java Lab opening in another state. So the workers are splitting up for good. The group eventually decide to have one last time hanging out together for one last adventure to make them a time capsule, so when they see each other good, they can relive the memories of what happened. The episode can end with the group another 10 years later digging up the time capsule, and we find out what happened to them when you were apart, the jobs they got, that sort of happy ending. One of them talks about the grandparents' death, so Tommy has to move to look after that side of the family. Angelica's mom gets a job in New York City, so they have to move. Yeah, a lot of them are basically about them moving, which I would also agree would be a pretty good way to end it, showing that another part of growing up is having to leave your stuff behind, your family and friends behind indefinitely. It honestly would really work. I will say this: Rugrats has a strong connection with Nickelodeon and always will. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this, but in 2011, Rugrats returned to Nickelodeon's main channel schedule for the 20th anniversary, airing directly before the Nick Jr. block, as well as on weekends. So, and that was so popular. Okay, that was a result of the social media stuff, of nostalgia for that and other shows. So, 90s are all that, aka Nick Rewind was born as well, but Rugrats didn't hit that until November of 2011. For a possibility of coming back, yep. And you were right. Stupid nostalgia critic shitpost. At the school, there's a contest for helping charity. The winning team gets $1,000. Zane decides to enter while collecting their stuff. Dee Dee and Stu bring box from the attic with pictures from past adventures. Tommy's worried that Chucky still thinks he likes Kimmy, but Kimmy says they're just friends, but they feel bad that she said it. Angelica's confident to win and beat Savannah's team. Swing, so she tries to get help from Harold. Susie gets annoyed with Angelica for not seeing the real reason for helping the charity and says they can't even be rewarded. Chucky thinks the same. They should start getting really close. Phil will realize they're responsible for Jill's weird behavior, so they try to get him on the head again. Oh yeah, I think there's a weirdly common theory that Dill has autism due to how low his development was in Rugrats and how quirky he is in All Grown Up, but that has not been confirmed by any creator. Although I kind of would be happy if that was true. Okay, Chucky still thinks that Kimmy likes Tommy, and Kimmy thinks Chucky likes Susie, even though they claim otherwise. Phil and Low plays about he stuff around the school to try to get Dill on his head, but he doesn't. Chucky and Susie talk to Angelica about not seeing why she should be helping. Dill finally gets hit on the head, but he stays the same, so Phil realized that even if they hadn't Dill on the head, he would still be weird, but they accept him for how he is. Angelica still wants to be Savannah's team, so she steals some of their connection, but she finds out that Savannah has been collecting empty boxes this whole time, so the game wins the contest. Susie kisses Chucky after he found out. They all hug. Tommy and Kimmy awkwardly hug each other, and they do admit they like each other. Judging them trophy, and then takes a picture. And then there's this one. Okay. Those 6 steps. Not the best, but I do see some potential in that. Now, to finish off, I want to show you fan art from around this time, 2006. These are pretty interesting fan art from during the shows, right after the show's cancellation. They really say a lot about the times. This one's Francine from Fools Rush In trying to help Tommy with his homework. This is Angelica going into peer pressure with all the smoking. Again, overly precocious, but I do still see potential in that anyways. This one's a Doodle Kimmy sleeping. Jeannie Lil from that episode. Kimmy's freefall. Chucky and one of the girls. Another Tommy and Kimmy thing. And this one is weird. This is when it gets really weird. He got this Playboy magazine. Now we're really getting grown up, and we have this very infamous episode where Angelica falls for that teacher twice her age, and boy does that say the wrong messages. And then there's this weird dance class one. That dress is really weird, but I have to say these arts really fascinate me for like the times of 2006. There's a beach episode, and there's another Kimmy episode saying that the show's over. I will have to say Legacy does live on, but the most widely circulated art was this one because of the fan connection. Yeah, I think you've probably seen this artwork before, but it's a very weird trend that kind of gets popular again when you look back at the old internet, but it really is a lot. Yeah, I like this one too. And anyways, I hope you like this video, even though it was way too long. I just had a lot to say because All Grown Up, I just wanted to show you what people reacted to All Grown Up as it was ending, and it was still pretty neat. I like this picture a lot too. The colors looks great. Have a nice day. Enjoy the Rugrats reboot because that's got a lot of potential despite what anyone else may say. It's great.